Yeah, I see it now.
All right. Hello, everyone. I want you guys to meet Jordan Vollmer. He's almost completed with his 90 days in the coaching model with me, but he's got 7 days left. And I really want to highlight his remarkable journey that he's gone on so far. So we're just going to dive straight into a conversation. And let me first get him on Instagram Live here with me. Jordan, are you inviting yourself in? Go ahead.
Yeah, let me do that right now.
All right. Request. Yep, go live with Vollmer. Here we go. All right, Jordan. Is your camera on as well on your Zoom?
Yeah, Kate is on Zoom. I'm just opening it on Instagram.
Okay. I'll just wait for you here for a second. And so did you get the invite from me on? Wait, joined. Go live with Jordan. All right. I just clicked to invite you on Instagram here. Are you in, Jordan?
I don't think you can hear me, can you?
I can hear you. I just can't see you on Instagram yet. I keep getting an invite and I'm accepting. Huh. What's happening on Instagram on your end?
I can just see you talking, and I'm trying to set my permissions to a share camera.
I keep getting an invite and then I keep accepting, but you're not coming in. Having any luck there? Do you know why on Zoom it's just showing your name right now?
Probably because Instagram is open.
Oh, are you trying to do both on the same device?
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Should I just do Facebook?
Let's just
Or
do
Zoom, I mean?
the Zoom. All right, perfect.
Okay, I'm
All
back.
right, guys. So like I said, Jordan Vollmer, he started the program approximately 83 days ago. So he's 83 of day 83 of 87 of 90 in the 90-day coaching program with me. And he's made a remarkable journey. And so I just kind of wanted to highlight what he's done to go through this transformation. So Jordan, before we dive into that specifically, just tell me a little bit about yourself and your golf game.
Sure. I probably got more seriously into golf about 5 years ago. Before that, it was kind of 1 or 2 rounds a year. And then hit my 30s and got bit by the golf bug, started getting really interested, started playing a lot, had a lot of colleagues that were very good. And so I wanted to get better to be able to play with them. So yeah, for the last 5 years, I've been playing maybe 20, 25 rounds a summer, kind of handicap getting down to mid-20s-ish. And then, doing the YouTube searches, trying to get better, trying to do lessons. And I kind of stumbled across some of your stuff as well and decided to give that a try. So that's kind of my background in a nutshell.
Yeah. And what specifically inspired you to start the 90-day program with me?
I think probably the time commitment being only about 15, 30 minutes a day was appealing, as opposed to lessons. You have to go for at least an hour, you have to drive somewhere, do things like that. So I'm a dad of 3 young kids, so I don't always get the time to get out and do stuff, and being able to do stuff in my own home, the office, outside, backyard, that's really valuable to me because I don't have a lot of time.
No, and that's a good thing to touch on. So you have kids, you're busy, you're a business professional, but in this coaching model, no longer do you have to schedule an inconvenient golf lesson. Now it's work on your golf swing on your time, but you also have a game plan, like you said, for the office, for your backyard and the driving range. And you've taken advantage of all those scenarios. Well, let's go back to day one. What would you say specifically you were struggling with the most in your golf swing?
Just in general, irons, mostly long irons, mid irons. Just super frustrated with mishits, with no consistency, with unsure where my takeaway should be, what my swing should look like, just changing things all the time, different swing thoughts, just frustration, I guess would be the word.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to inconsistency of contact and frustration and not really knowing where the swing's broke. You might be able to see that you have a problem, but you don't know clearly how to fix it. And so over your 83-day journey so far, what were some of the significant changes you've been able to experience so far?
Getting a structure, I guess, like a baseline structure to my swing, feeling a little more comfortable over the ball. How am I going to set up? How is my backswing going to start? And then being able to do that every time. That's been a huge change for me, is just having something to kind of fall back on if things aren't working well, that I can kind of stick to, because I've never really learned that foundation in the past with any lessons or anything. So that was huge for me.
And so knowing that you have this foundation and you're practicing in the office, in your backyard, and at the driving range when you go, how much confidence does that give you to go practice? Because do you feel like you're more aware of what is right versus wrong?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest benefits. You'll probably ask this question as well, but one of the biggest benefits to your program has been just learning how to assess myself on video and understanding, like, you learn very quick. This is where you want your head to be, your hips, your legs, your swing. And then when I watch myself on video, I can be like, oh yeah, that's a little off. This is off. That's off. Like, that's something that I've been able to learn over this experience. So I can take it away and quickly see, what needs to be tweaked and fixed or what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, and you specifically spoke to having more structure, right? And so in your practice sessions, you know exactly what you're working on, why you're working on it, like, why is this going to have a positive impact on your inconsistencies? But then you're also learning the how, which is what you're speaking to right now. You're learning how to self-assess on video, because we have a lot of conversations throughout this 90 days, which for me is imperative, because I want to make sure you can become an educated golfer that has the confidence and conviction to practice with correct technique. Because let's face it, Jordan, if you're going to go from an inconsistent golfer to a consistent golfer, you're going to have to put in reps, and you're going to have to put in reps with correct form and technique. And when you add on a layer of conviction and confidence that you're doing it correct, and the film is validating your feels are real, now you're on a pathway to get better. Is that kind of the experience you've had so far?
Yeah, and I guess the one thing to add to that makes it so much easier is, like, you tell me what the next step is, and it's always one thing at a time. We got a lot of things to fix in your swing, but we're doing this one thing for the next week until you get that perfect, and then you nail it. Okay, now we're going to do this thing, and then eventually the things that we fix just come more naturally to the swing, and you just kind of build them in and upgrade it as you go.
No, and that's a good point. So I always talk about one thing at a time, building blocks, and knowing what is the next thing. When you're trying to fix your swing on your own, it's easy to go on YouTube and Instagram and try to find a free tip or drill. But the reality is that pathway can get very confusing. And so as soon as something goes wrong, when you don't have access to a coach that's giving you fast feedback, it's easy to get stuck in this multi-swing thought syndrome where you're like, is this helping me? Is this helping me? Should I do this drill? But now I'm able to keep you laser focused because I'm giving you that feedback because let's face it, when you get introduced a new progression, it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel mechanical. But by putting in correct repetitions, you can get all the way to where it feels natural, which is what you're now experiencing. Your golf swing has made a tremendous change. And we know you still have plenty of room to grow as a golfer. But the reality is you now know where you were when you started and how you've gotten here so far with your game plan. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can, the best part of it is I can go back and look through everything we've discussed or learned, and if I have trouble with some specific area, I can go back and find where we talked about that and fixed it and how to fix it.
Absolutely. And so would you say it's fair to say at this point, let's say today was day 90, even though we still have 7 days to go, do you feel confident in your game plan moving forward? And do you feel confident in self-assessing moving forward?
Oh yeah, that's the biggest improvement is for sure is self-assessment. I could look at a video of myself before and have really no idea what I was looking at or what could be improved or how to change things. Now I can look at it in 5 seconds and I can tell right away if something's off and what it is and how to kind of tweak it.
That's awesome. And so how do you see applying what you've learned in these 90 days into your future? Like if you continue to try to get better at golf for the next 5, 10, 20 years, how does this 90 days impact your future?
Well, again, it's kind of that core foundation that I've built and not strain off of that too far. So a year or two from now, if I go back, I'll know where my head needs to be, or if it's moving too much, or if my low body is not moving forward enough through impact, or all of that information I have now. Like I don't do it perfect every time, but at least I can tell when I'm doing something wrong and I know how to tweak it and how to fix it.
Awesome. Well, Jordan, it's been a pleasure interviewing you, sharing your experience with many of the viewers, because I know a lot of people have questions, and I've recently posted a video on my story yesterday about your visual transformation. I had you paired up with Adam Scott. I mean, early on, you were a flipper, scooper, 2 bent arms post impact. And now you're definitely able to get forward shaft lean at impact, 2 straight arms, 2 long arms post impact, which we know is going to lead to more consistent golf shots, more consistent push draws, more distance, speed. And the coolest part about it is you've really taken advantage of the 15 minutes a day concept, practicing in your home, in your backyard, and when you go to the driving range, and you've become an educated golfer who can self-assess. So it's been a pleasure working with you, and I hope to work with you much more. But thank you for taking the time out of your day to share your story. Do you have any last words for the viewers out there?
Ooh, no, I don't think so. I think I just want to recommend you and your program. Again, I've done lessons before. I've tried a few different things and kind of basically forgot everything after I've gone through it. And this is more so like, lessons would be like giving a man a fish versus teaching a man to fish kind of idea. So I have that knowledge base now where I can take it forward after we end our time together and still get a lot of value from it. So that's the biggest thing that I would say to everybody else. If you're interested in that, it's going to teach you a lot about yourself and how to assess yourself. And that's going to be far more valuable than kind of one-off lessons, I would say.
Jordan, I couldn't have said it better myself. Again, thank you for your time. And everyone, if you're interested in learning more about my services or booking a sales call with me, feel free to hit me up in DMs, and I'd be happy to hop on a call and see if I can help you. All right, Jordan, have a great day. We'll talk soon.